My name's Craig McDonald and I'm an Australian winemaker that came to Niagara back in the mid-90s.
It was back in 1997 that I first came to Niagara, and I tried the 1995 Trius Red, and once I did, I realised that this is where I want to be.
I've always viewed Trius as a pioneer in the region. They've been making great red wines since the beginning, going back to '89, which was the first vintage of Trius Red. Trius Red is the quintessential red blend from Ontario, in my opinion, and it really showcases how far we've come as an industry in our red winemaking. I think many years ago people were a little bit shy to try Ontario red wines. Not only is this our 25th version of Trius Red, but it's just a really good red wine that really tells a story of evolution in the industry. Trius Red's done so well over the years because it's just been so consistent. The art of the blend is all about taking different parcels of fruit from different vineyards and making an assemblage which is always different, but at the end of the day it makes a unique blend every year. So it's the consistency of making a great red wine as opposed to making a single vineyard wine, which makes Trius Red so special. The composition of Trius varies from year to year, and it really depends on the season. But we always use the same three varieties. It's always Merlot, Cabernet Franc and Cabernet Sauvignon. They all have their different strengths and they do reflect the seasonality of each vintage from year to year. When someone pours a glass of Trius Red, you're always going to smell Niagara. You're going to get this burst of earthy red fruit, blackberry fruit, subtle oak and a really unique, delicate spice that you don't often see in the New World. It's very unique to what we do here. The most exciting thing about Trius is that we're not confined to our thinking and what a wine should be. We're constantly evolving with how the wine tastes, but first and foremost we're letting that sensory component deliver the final touches to the wine. Trius Red is very personal for me. Not only was it the first wine I ever had, I know how important it is to Trius, but also the Canadian wine industry. So I keep a very close eye on what's going on, whether it's driving my motorbike in the vineyard or being very close during harvest, or simply coming down on the weekends and trying barrels by myself. As a winemaker, I sometimes feel like I'm a conductor of a very large orchestra. Whether it's growers, whether it's other winemakers, whether it's our vines or the barrels, there's so many moving parts to making a great wine like Trius Red. So I'm pulling a lot of strings, but we've always held a very special place for Trius Red. No matter who the winemaker's been, it's always been the pinnacle of our efforts.